Previously on Persona 5 Strikers. Thanks for the lesson. I take this knowledge to practice. Good. Good. I will pass on what little knowledge I have to the future generation. Such as, gravity does not prevent pregnancy, despite what the internet may tell you.
I was thinking.
Last year, they taught me all about power, blah, 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 blah. My friends all talk about their boyfriend. Wait, what? Oh, she didn't mention her friends talking about boyfriends. Ah, so she didn't need to hint that to Joker.
So I went to talk to Kyoto, but nothing new came out of it.
Wait, did she not fucking give any points? Did she not give any points? Excuse me? Makoto? The fuck? Makoto. And I was nice too. I was so nice. And you didn't even give points. And I was so nice. You need to be flirty to get points. She's that oblivious. The boys give more points than Makoto. Makoto! No. Makoto, no. Welcome. You're here with Kuma. It's the weekend once again. I'm gonna be honest. I slept 12 hours last night. I needed it. I slept 12 hours last night like a bear. I shit you not. I was exhausted from the work week. So much stuff happening there, but thankfully we're here on the weekend. Oh God, I'm looking forward to it. We had a few copyright things during the week, so a few videos didn't make it out. I'm hoping to get those sorted over the weekend and hopefully start releasing a few more videos during the week because I haven't released last week's Persona 5 Strikers videos. I haven't released very much apart from Persona 5 Strikers in the last month, even though I have a few videos edited. So I would very much like to have some time this weekend to actually get those released for you guys. I have managed to release the videos on Patreon because there's absolutely no copyright issues on Patreon. So we have something going for us really well, which I really do enjoy. So I've edited out all the ReZero, all the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and it's all uploaded and scheduled to release. There's about a video releasing every single day, so you know, if you're a patron, keep an eye on that. You'll get notifications. I try to put links on the Discord, but I can't always every single day, so just keep an eye on it. All the cool stuff's coming out. Apart from that, we want to start moving things on the reaction channel and get videos uploaded there, but first I want to make sure everything on the gaming channel is coming out as it used to, and the fact that I'm driving here every week doesn't actually help. Internet issue at home isn't really getting any better anytime soon. The fact that there's heavy rain in Sydney means that no one's really doing anything, so that backlog of them fixing the internet cables throughout Sydney is just getting pushed back more and more. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. We'll see what's going to happen, but at the very least, at least we have stuff coming out, and at least we're still live streaming for now. So, you know, let's enjoy it while we can. Almost 1 full year on Twitch. Shit. It's amazing to look back at what kind of a year we had. We had COVID happen, and then we were live streaming like crazy. We got hit with copyright on YouTube, surprise, and we couldn't live stream on YouTube. So we decided to, you know, hop on Twitch so the show doesn't stop. In that time, we managed to get partnered on Twitch. And then we were like, so long YouTube, you know, fix your shit. And almost a year on, YouTube has not fixed their shit at all. It seems to have gotten only worse. We seem to still be streaming on Twitch. We get copyright claims occasionally on Twitch, but because we're partnered, we have the protection of being able to dispute them, which is amazing because even if we get a copyright claim, I can dispute it without stopping the streams, which is phenomenal. So thank everyone that turned up to those grind streams where we're trying to grind Twitch partnership. It really does mean a lot. It means that we're able to stream every week without any delays, because at least on one platform we have a bit of protection, and then we've got Patreon where we can upload stuff without having to worry, and YouTube seems to be the awkward elephant in the room that seems to be causing all the problems, but we can't just abandon it. So it's one of those awkward scenarios where we just have to find a way to work around it, because working through it just doesn't seem to be working, and the people upstairs at YouTube don't seem to care. I think that sums it up really well. All right, let's just jump straight into Persona 5 Strikers, because it's been a week ago since we've played, and I'm really looking forward to the game. It's the best part of my week. The weekend doesn't start until I start playing something, which is now. So let's just jump in. It's so chill. It just makes me want to go on a road trip. It just makes me want to go on a road trip. And we keep beefing up Arsene because, you know, we've kind of abandoned him in Persona 5 Royale. But we barely use him in Strikers. I feel so bad. It's funny to hear you saying this now, because I was watching you in Persona 5 Royale starting to get partnered. Memories. I hope your time with Twitch is still going great. It's been pretty good so far. Twitch, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it's better for streaming. I'm going to say it that way. All right, let's enjoy the opening as we always do. I feel personally attacked by the Phantom Thieves because they're picking on the guy that's wearing a suit, and I wear a suit at work, and I feel personally called out. I like how she's not officially on the train, but all the screens are turning on, so she has a presence in the real world. Okay, can we please unlock him as a playable character? We've been teased long enough. Can we just unlock the cowboy? We've seen him every opening now, and I get that he's a bit of a teaser, but at a certain point, surely they realize that we'll figure out that he's a playable character. And eventually we want to play him. So can we please play the sheriff? 3331. Damn it, couldn't I just wait 2 more minutes? It would have been so cool. I'm still stuck at the hee-ho part. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing on YouTube. So just to give everyone heads up, tomorrow we are playing Uncharted 4. We were scheduled to play it last week. We didn't, for one reason or another. We played some Cyberpunk 2077, and we managed to continue where we were stuck there last time due to technical issues. And we saw a bit more of the story, which was really cool. And yeah, so tomorrow we're playing some Uncharted 4. I'm pretty sure I spoke with everyone. Thank you so much for everything. I truly hope we'll come back here someday. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did speak to everyone. I think I might have found myself a new favorite, all thanks to this trip. Pretty sure I spoke to everyone. Certainly didn't expect the press conference to go the way it did. Was that being too harsh on the mayor? Maybe I should just run for election. Yes. Yes, I'm having memories of this. And I think this is sort of like the only area. No, we've been through here. Except some of the places are only open at night, so maybe we should use this opportunity to buy their shit. Go curry.
Please, take your time.
See, it's sold out, which means we probably bought everything already. What about this way? I'm pretty sure there was a store on the left that only was open at night. Japan, how I want to visit you. Apparently the fans of Supernatural are very into this place. I don't really get why though. Oh, sorry. Apparently the fans of the Supernatural. I thought you meant the TV show Supernatural, which I consider quite cool. It was a fun show before it turned into a soap opera featuring demons and angels. But I mean, for a while it was really good.
What you looking for? Come on.
Do something about it.
Have ever the hell you spell it? What, Nani? We are in Badis art. Badis? If that's what you want to call it. Okay, let's just hop in and go on our merry way.
Get to work.
All right, let's gather at the hideout. You mentioned Go-Go Curry in Persona 5 Royale. I wonder if you heard and added Go-Go Curry in Strikers. I think Go-Go Curry was probably already in Strikers because it's a giant national brand throughout Japan. It's probably the equivalent of, I wouldn't say KFC because KFC is international, but if you've, I can't even say a Porto because a Porto is technically international, but try to think of any chain restaurant that's fairly popular in your country and only your country. That's how popular Go-Go Curry is.
Here's what I found.
Pretty sure I did most of these.
You're doing this
Weapon
one?
shop.
You're doing
Oh,
this
we've done
one?
all these.
You're doing
Oh,
this
yeah.
one? You're doing this one?
Nah,
You're
we've
doing
done
this
all this
one?
stuff.
You're doing this one? You're doing this one? You're accepting this request? You're doing this one? You're doing this one?
That's a lot of honey. Yeah, we've done all this sort of stuff. All good. I just want to check out a shop real quick.
What are you looking for today? Things are
wanna buy
discounted
items.
right now. You should want. How many would you like?
Yes.
You want? Thank you very much. How many would you like? You will put it to good use, okay?
I don't even care they're going to pay more for this.
You will put it to good use, okay? You will thanks for your patron.
I just
How
want
many
all
would you
of the
like?
things.
You will put it to good use. How many would you like? You will thanks for your patron. How many would you like? You will thanks for your patron. How many would you like?
We are
You will
so
put it to
rich,
good use. How many
we
would
no
you
longer
like?
go
You want
to the
thanks for your
supermarket.
patronage.
The supermarket
You
goes
want
to
more
us.
quite a bit. You want? Thank you very much. How many would you like? How many would you like? You want? Put it to good use. How many would you like? You thank you very much. How many would you like? You want? Thank you very much.
This is just going to be broken.
You want thanks for your patronage. You want? You're buying quite a bit.
Oh, now she's judging me? Love how she's judging me. What are we discussing? Oh, is it meeting time? Not quite. I just wanted to talk about what our plan is from here. Our next destination is the research lab in Okinawa. According to Ichinose, that's where Madis could have altered Emma. Whether its potential alteration correlates to the appearance of jails or not, there's only one way to find out. Well, we're actually headed to Kyoto, right? It's so Zenkichi can stop by the Kyoto Police Department, and so we can take the direct ferry to Okinawa from Kobe. Zenkichi, you seem restless. Yeah, you've had a bug up your butt ever since that one phone call. Do you really gotta tag along with us? Well, excuse me, it just so happens to be the most convenient way to travel. Besides, all you guys have to worry about is sleeping. I'm rather grateful that you'll be the one taking the wheel. Alright, once we're ready, we leave Sapporo. Make sure we don't forget anything. When someone is nervous and so insistent we do something, something's up. But sure, let's go to the next
What are
city.
you gonna do?
Makoto needs some sleep. Hey, thanks, Shadow. Have a good one. Alright, are we headed out? Let's go. Let's go, go, go. Okay, we're off to Okinawa. Ready? Hurry up and take a seat. Didn't, like, karate
Would
originate
you like
Okinawa
me
or
to
something?
drive for a while?
Oh, she's so considerate.
Don't worry about me. You just get some sleep. We've still got a long way to go.
Are you sure?
It's been a while.
You kids don't need to be worrying over an adult like that. This is nothing for me.
Yeah.
To be fair, you are an excellent driver. The RV tends to shake a lot more when I'm behind the wheel.
I may not look it, but I used to patrol in a squad car. Driving's second nature to me at this point.
Ah. You drove a cop car? That's impressive. Teach me how.
Sure, once you've got a license.
How tough is it, being police?
Well, it sure ain't easy. Oh, right. You're studying to become some police bigwig, aren't you, Nijima?
Nijima. I wonder if he knows about the other Nijima.
Yes, but I've only just begun.
Wouldn't really recommend it myself. This job's nothing but hell.
Oof.
Your hours are a mess. You get transferred all over the place. Anything goes down at the scene, you get blamed.
That may be so, but my heart's set on it, no matter how tough it may be.
We'll have you back. You'll do great, Makoto. Don't overdo it. You'll do great, Makoto.
Thank you.
Well, if your heart's set, then do what you gotta do. But as your future senior, I'll share this. The harder you work, the more you wind up putting the people in your life on the back burner.
Ooh.
Criminals don't care about your schedule. Tragedies don't care. You'll barely see your own home. Sit on that for a bit, then decide if the force is right for you.
Ooh.
Well, I am already quite aware. And speaking of, don't you have any family waiting for you at home?
Ooh. And if he says he did.
Good question.
Ooh. Ooh. Trouble at home?
Aw, can it? Just mind your own business.
Ooh.
Let's just say, you've got to think about yourself before you can worry about anyone else.
Yes, I suppose that's true.
What's up now?
The initial invasion of Okinawa on April 1st, 1945 was the largest amphibious assault in the Pacific theater of World War II. The Kerama Islands surrounding Okinawa were preemptively captured on March 26th, L-6, by the 77th Infantry Division. Dang, the anniversary of this is in the US invasion of this place is coming up soon. Being a cop sounds fascinating as a kid, but it really is the most ungrateful job in the world. It's funny that as kids, many people look up to cops and, they want to catch criminals, but the older they get, the more they start looking up to criminals. It's kind of funny how society goes. It's almost like that saying that as a kid, you idolize Batman, but when you grow up, you start understanding the Joker more and more.
You just reminded me of my father, is all.
Oh god, the daddy issues are coming out.
He was an officer, too. Unfortunately, he lost his life on duty.
So, does Makoto secretly want to become a cop so she can understand her father more? Ooh.
I see.
He took his job a lot more seriously than you seem to, but when you boil it down, you two are actually quite similar.
Oh god, Makoto, stop now.
You shouldn't diss your father so badly, comparing him to me.
This is awkward.
So, Nijima?
I like how it's like, oh, I don't know your name. Your name's Nijima, right? It's like, yeah, bullshit. If you're dating Sai, I swear to God, I'm gonna stab you.
When you were little, your old man probably wasn't home often either, was he? How'd you feel about that?
Well, in retrospect, I'm very proud.
In retrospect, but at the time.
My father was an officer who acted on his beliefs all the way to the end. He taught me that his duty was to keep people from being hurt. It may just be his influence on me, but I think becoming an officer is still an admirable path in life.
If only that were always true.
Oof.
Our ability to help is restrained. The shrewder and more malicious the target, the less we can actually serve them justice. Held back by superiors, held back by the red tape, held back by all sorts of laws.
Held back by the corruption.
The only thing the police do is obey orders, even when they involve total injustice or an absence of human logic.
Wow.
Basically, the cops I see every day are nothing but a bunch of spineless dogs. And that includes when I'm looking in the mirror.
Whoa. They sure put me through hell. Some cops do good though. So you're a dog deuce, Zenkichi.
I'm a lot more loyal to my master than I look. But anyway, that wasn't what I was getting at. I meant, when you were still just a kid, how did you feel about your dad rarely being home, Nijima?
Oh, when I was younger? I did understand that it was part of his job, but I do remember missing him still. But at least I always had my sister with me.
I see. Sorry to bother you with all that. You guys had better get to sleep already.
Damn, the daddy issues in that family are over the roof.
If we run into trouble while you're all too tired, I'm the one who'll be in real deep shit.
Wow, we get so little bond points. Basically a joke at this point. Begs the question, should the law be absolute and people serve the law, or does the law exist to serve people?
So much that even sleep's boring now. What do?
A saying that I heard not too long ago was, when the law is what protects the politicians from the people, that's when you know you've got a dictatorship. The law, in theory, is supposed to serve the interests of the people. So you've got two mechanisms and two objectives of the law. One is to serve the common interest, and second is to administer punishment. So if you look at it that way, laws are supposed to exist in order to ensure that the society in which the people live functions properly. You know, don't go above a certain speed limit so you don't crash, you don't get off the road, you don't run someone over, right? Makes sense. Have a red light and things like that so people can safely cross. Don't steal so, you know, people can run businesses and society can function, all these other stuff. Cool. That serves the public interest, and it also makes sense to administer punishment if people break these rules as long as they're within, you know, limits. You're not going to put someone up to be executed for going 2 kilometers an hour over the speed limit, right? But say someone's maliciously speeding all the time and runs people over and shit like that, well, you know, then you got to administer more punishment and see whether or not they should even be allowed within society or put somewhere else, which should be the primary function of jails. But then you've got some laws which are put in by politicians, which have been requested by companies and private individuals, such as, oh, I don't know, loopholes. Or, you know, laws are drafted a certain way with loopholes built into them that only certain people know about, because those people are the ones giving politicians money to push those laws through. In that case, the laws aren't serving the public interest because they're serving the private interest. And in that case, the politicians aren't serving the private interest. The public interest. So in that circumstance, you've effectively got a society that's being run for the few. Sounds an awful lot more like a dictatorship, doesn't it? In that case, the laws aren't there to protect the people. They're there to protect the very few from the people so that the few can continue breaking the law and going against the common interest, but not get in trouble for it because of these technicalities that are built into the law that they know about. That's the only way that, I don't know, child rapists and murderers can get away with it in, say, America, because they know the loopholes. It's not assassination, it's suicide, you know? It's not, you know, child rape, because that evidence is inadmissible because it was collected in a certain way. Even though the evidence proves beyond a shadow of the doubt that this person committed the crime, it's inadmissible in law because you didn't collect it properly. Even though it's a video of them doing the act, it can't be admitted in court, therefore there's insufficient evidence to go on, and then there's no trial. So that's a real life example that actually happened. Without sounding all political, Hillary Clinton got her client off charges of child rape because the evidence was inadmissible. And there's audio recording of her laughing about it and joking about it with her client, who was quite proud of himself and started describing parts of the act. Welcome to America. And that woman almost became president. After more than 60 or 70 of her close workers committed suicide. one of which stabbed himself in the spine while making a sandwich. How do I stab myself in the spine? How does the knife go perfectly this way? I don't know. I don't get it. Another one took a shotgun and shot themselves at the back of the head. How do I grab that shotgun and shoot myself at the back of the head? I don't know.
Well, is anyone feeling peckish yet? Although I suppose we've nearly reached Kyoto.
Come on, Ryuji. Make us laugh.
Oh God.
Don't tell me to perform for you. I ain't some comedian.
Shit. Not now.
Oh, is mommy calling? I'll answer it for you.
Well, I guess there's no reason not to. Go ahead.
Oh God.
Make it quick though. Just say I'm driving and then I'll call back later.
I wonder who it is. The caller ID says that it's someone named Akane.
Hello?
Moshi moshi. Kuma desu.
Way past noon. Where are you? Don't tell me you forgot what day it is. We were supposed to visit Mom's grave together.
You got a sister. Is she hot? Nice to meet you. Sorry to hear that. What'd you say today was? Sorry to hear that.
Huh? Who is this? Please give him his phone back.
Sorry, he's driving right now. Sorry, he'll call back soon.
What do you mean?
What is it? Who's calling?
Is it some kind of emergency?
Why don't you just pull over, Gramps?
Do I hear a bunch of girls with you?
Oh my God, this is gonna end really well.
What an asshole! You're just out partying right now, aren't you?
Ooh, she sounds pissed.
Oh,
You really are the worst! Don't bother coming home again. You don't even deserve to visit Mom's grave.
It is his daughter, Kuma. Melody, why are you telling me that when I haven't officially found out? That's a spoiler. I'm putting you on timeout.
I don't know the details, but is everything all right?
Ooh. She not happy. I have no clue.
Yeah, sorry about that. Just forget it.
So, who was that anyway?
My daughter?
Daughter? You have one?
You had sex? I always took him as the Dante type.
Yeah, damn it. Sorry, time to floor it. Hang on to your seats, kids.
Oh, so that's why you're driving.
Okay, we're in Kyoto city limits. Is this good? I really have to go.
God, just go, man.
Just park this somewhere and check out the temples or something. I'll be in touch tomorrow.
Wait, tomorrow? Where is there overnight?
We'll work it out,
What
Makoto.
in the heck?
He's been in quite the state since that phone call earlier.
So that question about him, about Makoto's dad not being home. Ooh. Wow.
Maybe plans to keep, or something.
He's supposed to visit a grave.
Based on my deductions, today seems to be the day Zenkichi's wife passed away. He is due at her grave to pay respects.
Ooh.
Zenkichi-san's wife passed away?
Yeah.
That's why his daughter demanded to know where he was.
Ooh.
Zenkichi. He could have just told us what was going on.
Oh yeah, hey mysterious kids that I've been working with for I don't know how many days. I really need to get to Kyoto quickly because, you know, timing bad, my wife's dead and my daughter's waiting. Sure hope you understand. Let me drive the van.
Also, wasn't the way she was talking to him, like, really bad? Especially for today?
I mean, you know how teenage girls are, Anne.
She was enraged by the sound of young female voices. She surmised, "You're just out partying right now, aren't you?"
Yeah, on the anniversary of her mother's death. I mean, I'd be pretty pissed off too.
Whoa. Talk about getting the wrong idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible. We need to go straighten things out with her right away.
We should try catch up. Where's he headed? Maybe we should stay out of it. We should try catch up.
Right. We should try to find a nearby cemetery. Where do we start?
And maybe you should put on some clothes because you do kind of look like a party girl and I don't think you should be wearing that at a graveyard.
I have found only one cemetery in the vicinity. He will be there.
Ooh, I did not see this coming. I'm so glad there's no music. The music would be so inappropriate.
Sorry, I'm late.
Is it me or did I see this scene 1,000 times in anime? Death Note. And other anime. I really feel bad for Zenkichi. I was giving him a lot of shit, but now he's got a real human side to him. This is definitely Zenkichi's arc.
Akane?
Why does she look like that girl from, what's it called? Hell Girl. Oh god.
I'm not here for excuses. Go have fun with your girls. Goodbye.
Oh damn, she's growing up quick.
No, you don't understand. I'm on the job right now.
Do not come near me again. Got it? Can't even catch Mom's killer.
Oof! Oof! Oof!
Can't even look your daughter in the eye? Of course. You refuse to face up to anything.
Wow, she grew up quick.
The way I see it, you're no father to me.
Well, you know...
I mean, you're kind of in the background. Say something.
What do we even do? We really crashed that ship.
She's really eviscerating him. This whole thing is entirely our fault. We're the ones who should explain everything.
Yeah, Makoto, you seem like the one with the level head. Go for it. Imagine Kuma's children saying that to him. Yeah, well, that's a one-way trip to Vietnam, isn't it?
Hang on a second. Please?
Don't show weakness in front of children. They'll trample all over you. This is all a misunderstanding. Please don't take it out of it. We can explain everything.
You guys, what are you doing here?
Who are you?
We were his ride here. We're co-workers. I'm the guy from the phone.
Huh? And why are...
She's totally suspicious of us. I would be too, but
Sorry to barge in on this, but please, we have to tell you something first.
Why did you come here? I told you, wait until tomorrow.
Well, we are the ones responsible for upsetting your daughter.
Akane-chan, right? We're working a case together, so we were all traveling as a group until he ran off to meet you. Since your father volunteered to handle the driving, he answered the phone instead.
He has a name. Your dad's not that bad. You know what? Let's not talk about how bad your dad is. Let's just keep the situation on topic.
So when I talk to you...
Your dad was not in a threesome with 3 underage girls, no.
He was driving us all to Kyoto. We're so sorry we upset you.
My correction, 2 underage girls.
Oh, I see. In that case, please excuse my awful behavior. I'm sorry for jumping the gun and making a scene like that.
Damn, she's mature for her age.
whoa, she's so well behaved. She's already more mature than Ryuji.
Not the time for Tabo.
Shut up. But for real, you sure don't seem like you'd be his kid.
What is this, number 16?
You shut up.
So, Akane-chan, you and your dad made a promise about today, right?
Ah, Anne. The Slav girl. She knows about disappointments at our father's.
We are so sorry he got here late. That's totally our fault, too.
Oh no, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry too, Akane. I promise. I really did remember it was today. It's just, this case is dragging us all over the place, and...
Just stop it, I'm sorry. Just stop it, I'm sorry. Don't.
What's so funny?
He's nervous. It's a natural reaction for some people to giggle when they're nervous. It's on the same response circuit in the brain.
Also, you told me none of this. Couldn't you have simply explained all this to me before today?
Something about ongoing cases and letting civilians know about it.
She's ripping into him at an adult level.
To think she's so cold to her father on such a day.
So, Slav.
You know how the police can't talk about active cases and stuff, right?
With a little more conviction, Anne.
That's right. In the Force, any information about a case that leaks to the public could ruin all our hard work.
Come on, just cut him some slack.
Ryuji!
Sure, I don't got a right to talk, considering all the hell I put my own mom through.
Oh god, now he's connecting to her.
But he's taking care of you, right? So don't go biting his head off over this.
Yeah, if I did that to Sojiro, it'd probably take him the better part of the year to recover.
I mean, it's not like...
We're not trying to pile on you, though. I'm sure you have your own reasons for what you said.
Ah, the good cup, bad cup routine.
But his delay really was because of work. Please, at least don't blame him for that.
It's our fault, and we all know you can't blame us. That's it. Feel the guilt for making your daddy feel bad.
I understand.
Thank you, Akane-chan.
We especially regret causing trouble on such an important day.
May we pay our respects as well?
Sure.
Guys, thanks.
You owe us one.
Don't sweat it. The
Don't forget you owe us one too, Zenkichi.
Morgana, the Mafia Don. On the day I'm gonna call for your help. Wait, what did he say? What does he say in The Godfather? It's been so long. One of these days, and this day may never come, I'm gonna call on you for a favor. Mafia Don Morgana, I love it. I love it.
Hey, zip on the lips, cat. I am not explaining all this to Akane.
She can't hear him.
Don't worry, Akane can't hear a thing. Come on, let's go pay our respects.
Yusuke would 100% be the bad cop or trying to be a good cop, and it would be hilarious to watch. I'd watch it for the whole first season. We offered our prayers to the deceased.
So, 2 years. How the time flies.
How much you want to bet that her mom is that girl that we met at the beef place with the tongue, and secretly she faked her own death just to get away from motherly responsibilities so she could continue her research? It's highly unlikely. Ooh! Something snails, something termites, something morphogenic field, something Akane is the same from Zero Escape. Man, if this little girl is the prime antagonist, I'm just gonna blow my brains out now. 11 months? Holy shit, it's been a while. I remember Morgana, his all-attack stance. Oh yes, on the chair. So good. Oh, don't ask questions. Was it an illness?
It was...
I mean, the little girl did say killer.
Well, I should go home.
Oh, well, why don't we go together? I'll order some takeout.
I'm pretty sure she wants some time alone.
No, thank you. I want nothing to do with you.
Oh! Oh! See, I'm not even a parent, but even I can believe that that would hurt. Imagine someone saying that to you that you've brought up and that you should at the very least have some emotional attachment to. Kuma feels this in his burdening fatherhood. Oof! I can kind of understand why Virgil did a runner.
Hey! Akane!
If I had a daughter and she said this to me, I'd suffer a heart attack right on the spot. Yeah, this is partially why I don't want a daughter. I mean, with a son, you can just ship them off to Vietnam or Syria and be like, here's a gun and some rations. Have fun with that. Whereas with a daughter, you know, not trying to be sexist here or anything, but... God damn it.
She's not stopping.
Boy, is she icing Gramps out or what? This isn't just some teen rebel thing.
Her mom's dead!
But she's so polite, too. I really wonder what could have happened.
It's called a proper upbringing, Haru. Maybe... Oh, your dad's dead too. Maybe I shouldn't.
Hey, sorry about all that. You guys really did save me back there.
See, now I'm being conscious about ripping into anyone at this point because everyone's suffering some sort of traumatic event.
I've got to get home, but I'll see you all tomorrow. Be in touch. Yeah?
Fine by us, but you sure you're good to just go home like that?
Haven't had a chance to play this after the first jail, but I don't know about spoilers from this game anyway. I've been stuck for 5 months. Feels like it's been longer. It does feel like it's been forever, but it's good to have you around. Though, I don't know... Ooh... This chapter could get pretty spoilery, all I'm saying. Because you haven't had much time with Zenkichi. That's all I'm saying.
Don't worry. She's just at that age. You know?
I wouldn't deny this much longer, because if she starts developing daddy issues, she's gonna go through a teen rebellious phase when she starts dating older guys. And you really don't want to deal with that. I mean, do you know the amount of work that's required to eviscerate a body?
I know you don't get home too often, but is everything okay there? Akane-chan's eating well and all that?
I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of nourishment.
Yeah, my wife's parents are just next door. She just shuts herself up in her room every day, is all.
Oh, Futaba, you're up.
From what they tell me, she always eats in her room. Easy packaged stuff.
Futaba, you're up.
Really? It's that bad?
Futaba, you're up.
I'm always at work, so I really don't know anything about her diet.
She's a growing young lady. I hope she's at least eating well.
I mean, I send her money at least. She's already a third year in middle school. I'm pretty sure she's set in her ways.
I believe middle school is the equivalent of year 7, 8, 9 in Australian high schools. So she's 12? 13, 14? Yeah, somewhere in that vicinity. I'm worried about her. We shouldn't leave her alone. I want to help her somehow.
Yeah, after what we put her through, I want to at least do something nice for her today.
Her dad's taken decent care of us so far. Why don't we treat him and the kid to a nice meal?
Take the girl to a buffet.
That's a great idea. I'd like to speak more with her. We can even help cook.
Fine, Japanese barbecue it is.
Sounds like we'll need to stay over tonight. Let's make sure we pick up plenty of groceries.
Wait, did you just volunteer his house?
All right, everyone, after Akane.
Jesus, these kids.
Huh?
Nice work, Zenkichi. You really don't know how to deal with kids, do you?
Wait a minute! You can't just invite yourselves over like that, damn it!
Yeah, but it takes someone with some assertiveness to deny it.
Hey! Hey, you damn kids! Are you seriously crashing my place?
They're about to.
Am I just talking to myself here?
At this point, yeah. Wow. This is getting deep, Doc. This is getting heavy.
Akane-chan, could you please pass the potatoes?
Oh, of course.
Wow. Wow. This is gonna turn into a big sister thing. I can see it happening.
Aw, no need to be so formal with us. We can keep it real.
And I'm worried about you. You're a bad influence on the child.
Real? Okay, thanks.
You got it.
Akane, would you mind helping me cut the carrots?
Oh god, please don't cut your finger off.
Okay, sure.
Look, let me teach you the basics of using a knife. Front towards enemy. Stab, twist, pull. If it gets caught on something, just leave it in there.
Well, they seem to be getting along in there.
Hey, this is a quite spacious place for Japan. And Kyoto, this is not too bad. You must be doing well for yourself. It's clean, it's tidy, it's got a calendar. Huh, you're providing pretty well for your family. Kuma, they are cooking with a knife, not fighting. Hey, knives are very versatile. They can be used for both.
I guess she's warming up to us, huh? I seriously didn't think that could happen when we first met her.
What a relief. She's a good kid.
I can no longer sit idly by. I want to help too.
How are you gonna help?
I've got it. I'll find an award-winning recipe and...
Aren't they already cooking though?
Chill your circuits, Sophia. The curry always tastes good when you make it together with someone.
Is that so?
I can't believe you've all raided my house like this. You guys have some serious nerve.
And I can't believe you're just sitting here on the couch with your arms folded.
Although, I can't remember the last time this place felt so alive.
Hey, so, Gramps? You don't gotta answer if you don't wanna, but what happened with Akane's mom?
So who's the killer?
Vehicular manslaughter. A hit and run.
Ooh. then we had a conversation about speeding. Oh, god damn it. Hit and run, so the person didn't even call an ambulance. That's fucked.
So that's what she meant. She said something about the killer too, right? They ever get caught?
Pretty sure they would be able to.
No case was ever pursued. Any suspect is way out of my reach.
Oh, it's someone with some political pull. No case was ever pursued. Suspect out of my reach. It's political or police force or someone with some money. Welcome to society, ladies and gentlemen, where you could literally hit someone with a car, run away, and no one's even gonna pursue you on it. Oh, what was that woman called? Was it Caitlyn Jenner or something? Caused a car accident that ended up killing someone, and they didn't even get charged for it, even though they were on their phone like this, driving an SUV, crashed in the car in front of them, and the car in front of them hit someone, and that someone died. So even though they were breaking the law by using the phone like this and driving an SUV and caused a car crash, they weren't charged because of political pull. Because it would be politically inconvenient to charge someone like that with a crime? What the fuck? See, this is why fucking assassinations exist. I mean, if there were justice in the world, you wouldn't need hired guns, would you? Just saying. I mean, if justice really was blind, everyone would be treated the same, but they're not. If justice was truly fair, everyone would have the same level of legal representation, but they don't. So how is justice justice? When you can have people charged with crimes they didn't commit, but because they don't have the means to get legal representation, they don't have someone competent to defend them. How's that justice in any sense of the word? It's not. It's effectively a hierarchy of power meant to keep the people at the bottom part of the hierarchy down, while the people in the upper echelons are untouchable. It's effectively a pyramid scheme of control. What do you mean?
It's none of your concern.
Oh, it is a part of my concern, because this is what we do best.
Sure, but...
Hey, would you help put the finishing touches on this?
Ryuji, the word is yes and. Sure, but is the equivalent of saying no, but makes someone defensive. Yes and opens them more up. Little trick when you're arguing with someone, don't say no but. They make them feel like you're saying no, but if you say yes and, even though you're saying no, they think you're not.
Come on, off to work. It better be worth the hassle.
Damn. Maybe I should stop giving Zenkichi so much shit.
So good! Oh, these vegetables in Kyoto make curry so amazing.
Let me try. This is delicious. I'll have to report this back to Sojiro.
Is this Sojiro or Sojiro? I swear to God she's mispronouncing that. Just eat it, Yusuke.
Yeah, I knew he'd lose it.
Curry that moves diners to tears? I wish I could try it.
How would that even work?
I want some too, but it's still too hot.
Don't worry, Morgana. We'll be sure to leave some for you too.
The brains of the operation thinks of everything.
My trust issues are such that I'm trying to see if there's any indication of Akane responding to Morgana's lines. In the unlikely case that she has access to the metaverse, because I've been left with trust issues after Persona and other games. And it's not helping my trust issues. I don't trust anybody new I meet. I meet new people and I always try to figure out what's their angle.
I'm quite jealous of you, Meowgana.
Excuse me? Meowgana!
Who were you talking to?
Just myself. Anyway, how's our curry, Akane-chan? Do you like it?
Makoto, you are a bad liar.
Is it good, Akane?
It's delicious.
Aww.
Good! I'm glad.
Aww.
We'd better keep our mouths shut here, Sophia. Oh, man.
She had a golden opportunity to say, oh man, for real? The camo eggplant gives this curry an amazing flavor. I'm getting inspired. Steal the recipe!
Did you just come up with a new dish? I can't wait to try it out.
You know what really fucks me? I do this all the time. I go to a burger place and I reverse engineer the burger and try to make it at home. I go to another place and I have something, I try to reverse engineer the recipe and cook it at home. I'm able to, especially for burgers, narrow it down all the way to the sauce. So typically I can find the cheese, the buns, all the vegetables that they use. I can typically narrow down the meat to the type of meat they're using, because they normally say beef patty, but I can normally narrow it down to the type of beef that they're using and the level of fat. The thing that I always find tricky is the sauce, because some places make their own custom sauce by mixing a few ingredients. Sometimes I get lucky and I manage to figure out, wait, that tastes like this and this. But sometimes it's just really hard to narrow down the sauce. But I can typically reverse engineer burgers really well. That's my party trick. If I like people, I'll actually cook for them. So at a party, I can make mean burgers. I can make pork katsu burgers, Japanese style with sriracha sauce, or I can make beef burgers. I can also make what I call the double Kuma. That's my party trick. That's also how you get girls like Hutchin. You just keep feeding them. They never want to leave.
Oh man, I could eat this all day. Time for another round.
Even if you need to, just learn one dish. Learn one dish and just make it really well. Just one fucking dish. Cereal does not count. But like one dish. Like that's all you need.
Not today, Futaba. I'm taking another helping first.
Did she already take it?
All right, break it up. There's still more than enough to go around.
I love the Yusuke Futaba dynamic. It is just, he's like a big brother to her, but she gives him so much shit that the relationship just works. It's so cute.
It really is good. Do you think I could make it by myself?
Oh my god, a girl that's learning how to cook. Family values persist after all. I'm sure you can. If you put it in practice.
Right.
If you put it in the practice.
I'll do my best.
Aww.
Mastering this isn't easy. You'll have to learn how to curry your weight in the kitchen.
Oh god, Futaba's gonna be a mother one day, isn't she?
Oh, I've got an idea. Want to take a bath later, Akane-chan?
And you can't just ask a little girl if she wants to take a bath with you. That's creepy.
Huh? A bath?
That's the best way for us girls to get to know each other better. I can teach you all the supermodel secrets to glowing skin.
Are you joking?
Really? Oh, that'd be great.
Ryuji, I'm not taking a bath with you.
I'd like to learn those too. Mind if I joined you?
Ryuji, how would you like to visit a nightclub?
Come on, how big do you think the bathroom is here?
I mean, the house does look pretty big. Akane and a few of the ladies went up to share a bath together.
You really saved my ass back there. The place may be cramped, but it's yours for the night.
Ah, I see the style that they have here. Oh yeah, I get it. It's effectively one of those rectangular homes you see throughout Japan. This is effectively the whole ground floor, and then you got the little stairs behind where he is that goes upstairs, and then you've just got the 2 bedrooms as you walk out. So it's sort of like, if I can get a rough gauge, say 1, 2, 3. It's kind of like 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. It's like 4 by 15 meters, which is spacious enough. 4 by 15, so you've got 15, 30, 60 square meters on the ground floor, minus stairs, 60 upstairs, minus stairs. So you've got probably about 100 square meters of usable space, and because you've got an open plan like they do, well, that's very spacious for Japan. And they make good use of the space. Like, look at how high the shelf is above the painting, and they've got the sort of bookcase thing behind them, and that's the whole living room, and that's the dining room right next to the kitchen. They make pretty good use of the space, but does that mean that the bathroom is upstairs? Because that would cut into the bedroom space. Because when I was in Japan, I lived in a place that was about 30, 40 square meters. I mean, in Australia, they have what's called a granny flat, which is like a little mini residence on the side of a house. And those can be up to 60 square meters. And with 60 square meters, they manage to make 2 bedrooms, a living room, a bathroom. But usually the living room is similar to this, connected to the kitchen on an open plan. But what a lot of people actually do is they actually have a bench in between the kitchen and the living room. So you can really save a lot of room on space if you actually have a bench. So you've got like here, and then the bench is almost like a tea bench, and you can just put chairs there. So you don't actually need a standalone table. You can either stand on the bench or use some of those like high chairs. It's really cool. I honestly wouldn't mind living in a place like that. 60 square meters is plenty. You've got enough for like a normal sized bedroom and like a mini bedroom / study. That's like all you need. You just use it as a studio. Futaba would be great, mum, but she would critique her kids' browser history. Man, if you have a mum like Futaba, you wouldn't get away with anything. You'd either like become the biggest... Your self-confidence will either be in question so much that you're ashamed for yourself, or you would become a better computer whiz than Futaba just trying to hide your porn. Futaba wouldn't judge her kids' browser history, she would just give them advice on better websites. That's if Futaba was a single mom. But if she's married and, you know... Damn, that makes you question, what kind of person would Futaba even get? There is a Japanese YouTube channel where a guy showed apartments in Tokyo, showed something similar to this on the outskirts. It was like $500 a month. Well, you guys know that the place that I was with Hachan, it was an apartment, it was $700 a month. But the reason it was $700 a month, and that's including all bills, was because we only hired it for the month. So it technically came under being a short-term rental. So we paid a bit more. But if we were to like rent out a place for 6 months or something, you would definitely get around $500 a month. Like, the rent isn't that bad in Japan. If you're living in Tokyo, yes, the rent would be a lot dearer because, you know, people work in CBD Tokyo and companies and whatnot, and as a result, supply and demand does its thing. But if you're living on the outskirts of Tokyo, the price just goes down dramatically. And if you're living in other cities, it's not as bad. But you also got to take into consideration that Japan has a declining population. So in countries like Australia, the prices of real estate keep going up because our population is going up, the demand keeps going up, and people keep coming in from overseas bringing in money, which means the demand is always larger than supply. And if you know basic economics, that pushes the price upwards. In Japan, you've got a country where they don't actually just hand out the visas. So in order to get a visa to work in Japan, a company has to sponsor you to work there, and you can't actually buy real estate on that type of visa. Whereas in Australia, even if like some kids actually come here to study in Australia and their parents buy real estate, you can buy real estate without being a citizen or have permanent residence It just costs you a fuck ton extra, which is what pushes the price even higher because, you know, you get some of these rich, corrupt politicians from China coming here and buying entire buildings, and Australia lets them do it. Whereas in Japan, you can't buy real estate unless you've got a citizenship. Japan has a policy where you can't hold dual citizenship with other countries. So you can't have a Japanese citizenship and Australian citizenship. You have to rescind the Japanese one. That's basically the rule, which means the number of people that can own real estate in Japan is always pushed down. It's got that glass ceiling. On top of that, you've got Japan's population, which is declining because it's an aging population because a lot of young people aren't having kids because of the work pressures and societal pressures and all these other reasons. So what you've effectively got is a declining real estate price. So in cities that aren't, you know, Tokyo and CBDs, the prices of land and houses have been falling. In certain hubs, they've been going up because they're building like little, I forget what they're called, but there's little hubs within large real estate areas that are growing in price because people are building houses and there's like city centers and little things like that. But overall, on average, it's been going down. Have you seen Hell of a Boss? It's on the Reaction channel. But yeah. I have thought about buying real estate in Japan and I was very disappointed. I would have to buy it through Hachan via proxy. And I've already thought about what kind of house I would build and call it the Kuma house. I have thought about this extensively. I'm glad it all worked out. We're having a good time too. No worries.
Who the hell would ever guess the Phantom Thieves are a bunch of softies?
If someone is suffering, it's only right to provide aid when possible.
Doesn't Japan have this requirement that a permanent stay means you have to take a language course? Well, you need to speak Japanese. Like, I mean, that doesn't sound too unreasonable. If you have a permanent residency in Japan, you have to be able to speak the national language. I mean, that doesn't sound like a horrible thing. You have to be able to communicate with the other people within the country. Sounds fucking horrible, doesn't it? Nope, call it the Akuma house. More fitting for you. I don't want to give it away. Call it the Kuma cave. Have it built inside a mountain. That would be cool. If I'm doing that, I'm not paying for it. I'm just gonna start digging. I'm just gonna go in the suicide forest, find where the mountain is, and just start digging. Where's the Kuma cave? You know that famous suicide forest in Japan? Okay, so go in it and keep walking towards the mountain. Wait. What? Yeah, who's gonna try to burgle that place? And if Logan Paul ever comes there, I can take care of him. It was suicide. Oh wait, we should just tell Hillary Clinton that Logan Paul has information that could lead to her arrest. Problem solved! Kuma just building himself a mountain fortress and just streaming daily from it. Would that technically make me a shogun? Shogun Kuma, he streams all day. Very much honor. In that case, shouldn't I just build it on Tsushima Island? That's just so much more fitting. Oh, I need a pet fox. So cute.
Yeah, we just do what we know we gotta do.
Kuma has much Kuma honor. Wait, I should have a few pet bears. Because there's heaps of bears in the forests throughout Japan. And they're not too bad. They just wander down when they're low on food due to global warming. But you get what I mean. Oh my god, I need a pet bear. I would be known as the guy with pet... I would be the Kuma with a Kuma in Japan. That would be so cool.
Help the weak and crush the strong. That's the Phantom Thieves way and always will be.
Nani?
And we never forget when someone provides us a meal or a roof. Ever.
Aww.
Oh, really? At any rate, I still wanted to thank you guys properly. It's been a long time since I've seen Akane so happy.
This is so therapeutic. And I just noticed that that kitchen doesn't have, you know, those electronic vents that sucks in air when you're cooking? That's gonna be a problem in this place.
So, Gramps, about what we were saying earlier.
Sorry. Ugh, a whole day's driving, finally catching up to me. You were saying, Sakamoto?
It's nothing.
Sorry, but I gotta hit the hay. Would you guys mind hanging out with Akane in her room for a bit?
You're asking a bunch of guys to hang in your daughter's room? We really gotta talk about this whole parenting thing.
She's into some kind of online thing lately.
Oh god, please tell me she's not a Logan Paula. I will hang her now.
Something to do with some show about her faves?
Nani?
Clearly I don't know anything about it, but I'm sure she'd be happy to fill you guys in on it.
Futaba, you're up.
Roger that. We got you covered. Hear that? We've accepted a mission.
Wait, are we gonna snoop on the girl's laptop while she's bathing with the other girls? Wait, Futaba, you didn't join the other girls? Did that make you one of the bros? How does this dynamic work? Tsushima is getting massive traction since Ghost of Tsushima. Main devs were even made lifelong ambassadors as a thank for telling its history. Man, even I want to visit the island of Tsushima. I didn't even know about it. I go to Hachan. I'm like, Hachan, can we go to Tsushima? And he's like, is it because of that game that you're playing, Ghost of Tsushima? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, but you were never interested in traveling before. And I'm like, I am now. And she's like, so what do you want to see on the island? And I'm like, I don't know. We waited for the ladies to finish their bath, then headed to Akane's room. Oh god.
Good God!
Okay, what is it? How bad is it, guys?
So, this is my room, and yeah.
What is this merchandise and why are we not making it ourselves? Even the teddy bear has a goddamn Phantom Thief thing.
Is this really all Phantom Thieves merch?
Zenkichi must have known. You guys should be flattered.
I didn't even know they made this much stuff.
Yeah, why are we not getting paid for it?
Well, they are real famous, you know. I'm pretty sure some of these were only posted on super obscure websites, too.
Futaba, you're in on this, aren't you?
There are even some handmade ones.
Futaba, you've been secretly running a merch store without telling us. You bitch. I demand a cut.
It's too much, isn't it? I know, it's lame.
I would feel so awkward. You walk into a fan's bedroom and it's just all your merch and you're just like, this is a museum.
No, that's not it, Akane-chan. You're into the Phantom Thieves, yeah?
Oh god, don't feed the beast, Makoto.
Huh? Well, yeah.
Really? She's into the Phantom Thieves? I never would have known. Makoto is giving us all a loaded expression. What have we done?
How neat. We're all the same then.
Oh god, don't bullshit this more than you need to.
Huh? You mean you're...
Yup. We're, huge Phantom Thieves fans.
Oh guys, please don't. You're gonna dig this deeper than you need to.
Right! I love the Phantom Thieves. Go Phantom Thieves! Change their hearts and all that stuff.
And your career as an actress just died. Nice work. Phantom Thieves for life. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, fuck. I kinda know it would be a bad idea. I kinda know it's the worst thing in the world and it's gonna end up in a kidnapping and potentially cause a lot of problems for us. At the same time, I mean, it's not my life I'm fucking up technically, so...
actually do remind me of them.
Yeah, we're huge fans.
I'm into the Phantom Thieves because they seem like the only ones changing this crappy world for the better. They're not just fighting with their lives to save the people in trouble, they inspire people to be stronger too. They've got up to 8 or 9 members, but all their identities are still a mystery.
Yeah, even though they've had multiple TV reveals and their voices seem really similar to the people standing in front of you, but, you know, what would I know about tracking people down? It's not like I've ever been able to do it before or anything like that.
From the footage gathered online, they all seem so cool. I can't help but wonder who they really are.
Cute kid.
Especially the one who's always in the middle. I think he's the leader. He's so mysterious and dreamy.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh god. Now we're really going into that territory, aren't we?
Oh?
It's not you, Ryuji. That's so sweet. Maybe we should tell her. Let's move on. Maybe we should tell her.
You really do like the Phantom Thieves, huh?
What? She's gonna insult one of them. She's gonna insult one of them. She's gonna insult one of them. Come on, come on.
Damn, Akane-chan is so awesome.
Insult Anne. Do it. Do it. Do it. Insult Anne. Do it. I don't see any Anne merchandise, do you? No, wait, there is some Anne merchandise.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to rant like that.
Yeah, it's okay. It happens time to time.
It's no problem at all. I'd love to hear more about the Phantom Thieves.
Great! Oh, you know, maybe I could let you in on the show.
Excuse me?
What show?
Oh god. Who is doing it?
It's a live stream that's sort of all about the Phantom Thieves.
Oh boy.
Oh, how interesting.
This is gonna be cringy, isn't it? It's gonna be some 40-year-old guy trying to pick up underage girls like Minecraft.
Yep, sounds like a great show.
How much you want to bet that's our next target?
Okay, just give me a sec. It's almost time.
It's some pedo, isn't it? Watch. Wait, that's your mouse? You're joking.
It's been some time since we last met, fellow Phantom Freaks.
Wait a minute. When you said live stream... Wait, are you doing the live streaming?
Let us enjoy our time together tonight, Phantom Thieves superfans across the world.
She mentioned a stream, but I didn't realize she was the streamer.
Oh god, please don't become a Twitch thought.
What? It's like a totally different personality.
I'm pretty sure Zenkichi doesn't need to keep throwing money at her. She probably gets plenty.
So this is the online thing she's into?
Down, boy.
I think she's doing the voice for that action figure.
Is she copying you?
Morgana, I will drown you. She's good.
Whoa, pretty close.
Dude, he is him.
Did you just call her a dude?
It is time to express our gratitude for the Phantom Thieves from the bottom of our hearts.
Oh god. Oh god.
Our channel has over 50,000 subscribers.
Oh god, she even trumps me! Oh god damn it. How could this day get any worse?
That's easily a mid-tier account. I bet she's pulling in a decent income from this.
I bet she is. I bet she doesn't even have to work a 9-to-5 job like I do. That's impressive. Get in there, Morgana!
Oh, really? Should I go be a special guest?
So there are other supporters of the Phantom Thieves beyond the fan site alone.
See, I keep telling you, if you're a girl on the internet, you will get 50,000 subs. I've proven my point with Hachan. Hachan is almost on 30,000 subs, and she's been doing YouTube for like 6 months. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Girls on the internet get all the attention.
It's embarrassing to admit, but it feels kind of nice.
You just need to think of the demographic of males to females using Twitch and YouTube. It's mostly males. Based on that alone, what are males into? Females. Guys are looking at females! Who would have thought? I mean, if I had to choose between watching a guy that's into what I'm into or watching a girl who's into what I'm into, I would choose the girl. Now let's flip that. Wait, we don't need to flip that. I've just explained why. Shut up!
My dear freaks, I'm sure you're aware of the Phantom Thieves' celebrated comeback.
Are you calling them freaks? With a PH? Fuck you, goddamn.
As of today, 3 more incidents fitting their MO have surfaced across Japan. This is cause for celebration. Let us welcome the return of the Phantom Thieves with open arms. Ha 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 ha!
She really acts the part.
Maybe she's just in an extra good mood? Her dad did come home today.
No, it's her persona. Get it?
I have to agree. She reminds me of when my own dad would finally come home.
Really? You streamed like this too? What did you call it? Fist of the Phantom Channel?
God damn it, Ryuji.
You really want to find out?
No. Sorry.
Oh, those two are so getting married.
Well, that's basically what an episode's like.
I mean... at least she's not doing hot tub stuff. Or yoga stuff. Or body paint stuff.
That was great! You're an excellent showrunner. The spectators seem really into it too.
Yeah, especially that guy wanting to ship you gifts and wanting to know your address.
Oh, thanks. I've been doing these ever since the Phantom Thieves first popped up last year.
Ah.
Hits these days are so impressive.
Yeah, she really did ride that wave.
Really, Grandma?
Fucking Fatah, but the savage. Oh shit. Hitting her where she hurts because she knows models peak by the time they're 22, and it's all downhill from there.
I admit, my grades are kind of slipping. I should probably scale back on the live streams for a bit.
Your grades are slipping. What about your income column?
Especially with high school entrance exams coming up and all.
Girl, you do realize that most graduates of university in Japan get paid around $20,000 to $30,000 a year. You could pull in more income than that. And you could tax deduct your living expenses because you're working from your bedroom. Girl, you could earn more from your bedroom than these people do working 11 hours a day. Why do you think I convinced Hachan to do her online channel and online teaching? She was earning 20 grand a year working 10 to 11 hours a day in Japan. And I'm like, Hachan, get your butt to Australia. You make more money here. And then she got her butt over here. And I'm like, all right, Hachan, you're now getting paid $25 an hour to do childcare. And you're getting paid like $40 an hour to do tennis coaching in the hot sun. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, time to start your online business. He's like, what online business? And I'm like, congratulations, Hachan. You're teaching Japanese people English. And she's like, but I used to do that in Japan. And I'm like, yeah, you did. And he's like, and it only pays like $10 an hour. And I'm like, yeah, it does. And she's like, so why would I do it? And I'm like, but Hachan, you're looking at this the wrong way. how much do the customers of your business where you worked pay for those lessons? And she's like, $80 an hour. And I'm like, and now's the key point. You're getting paid $40 an hour to work outside in the sun. Your customers are willing to pay $80 an hour for the lessons that you already provided in Japan. Let's scale it down to say $40, $50 an hour and do it online. She's like, why would I do it online? I'm like, Hachan, it's fucking COVID. No one can go to these lessons in classrooms. They're online anyway. Why don't you just supply them instead for half the price? But how will I find the people? And I'm like, all right, Hachan, here's the crazy part. What do women do in Japan? Watch TV and browse the internet. All right, and here's the real crazy part. What part of the internet do they browse? YouTube. And I'm like, And how do we actually get their attention on YouTube? Videos. But that would require a camera, filming, editing, and someone that knows how to run a YouTube channel. And I'm just like, but that will take years of experience and trial and error. And I'm like, and she's like, wait, you could do that. And I'm like, so now Hachan's basically working full time. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Hachan is doing online English teaching full time. Meanwhile, I'm going to work for a 9 to 5. God damn it, if only I had titties. Wait, maybe we can get titties. How much are breast implants?
In that case, would you like some help studying?
Why should she study? Scale your online business, goddammit. Kuma, I'm not paying for your tits. You'll pay for them one way or another.
You mean it?
Is the international YouTube tax still a thing? Oh yeah, it's coming. It's fucked. I'm becoming an honorary American citizen by paying tax in America, even though I don't live in America, to buy bombs to bomb kids in Syria. Oh yeah, I am so proud of contributing to this bullshittery. I mean, at that point, I might as well move to Las Vegas where the tax is 15 cents in the dollar. I will actually save money by moving to Las Vegas. Instead of them taking 25% of my YouTube earnings, they'll legally only be able to take 15% because the tax rate in Las Vegas is 15%. So since I'm paying taxes in America anyway, why don't I just go to Las Vegas? I mean, technically, I'm pretty sure if I applied for a working permit in the US, I would probably more than qualify, given that I'm an Australian citizen and Australia and America have good relations. So Kuma doesn't mind Hachan hooking up with a girl over Kuma gets tits and sort of becomes said girl. What would Hachan do if my tits were bigger than hers? Don't tell her. She'll fucking stab me, and she knows how to do it after I taught her.
Of course. Would anyone mind?
Have fun, Makoto!
Oh, thank you.
Does the city or the state of Nevada? I'm not 100% sure, but I know that Las Vegas has a 15% tax bracket. Trust me, I've done research on this. I have been considering what I'm going to do when we go full-time and which potential countries we can move to go to full-time. I have been thinking about this for a while.
And you could do that with the parentheses anytime you deal with factorization.
Nani? You're doing a higher degree of mathematics than I did.
Wow, thanks, Makoto-san. You're a really good teacher.
I'm glad to hear this is helping. Okay, on to the next one.
Bye, Ninja Kuma. Hello, Kunoichi Kuma. What's a Kunoichi? Kunoichi. That sounds familiar. Kunoichi.
Good thing we left this to Makoto. No way we would have been any help.
You're lucky you have your looks, Anne. Now you better get married off before the age of 25, otherwise you're screwed. Wait a minute, I just described my cousin, who's about to give birth in about a week or two. She really got her claws into her husband. Female ninja Kuma. No wonder that sounded familiar. I'm gonna be like that ninja from the early episodes of Naruto. Did anyone notice that during that next to her desk was a photo of Joker when he revealed himself during Shiro's calling card? Oh god, she knows. I didn't realize. I'll have to look back on back.
Yeah, they weren't exactly falling over themselves for us to help out anyway.
Thank you so much for doing all this for me.
Oh, it's the least I could do. We had to make up for intruding last minute and everything.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, like, I'm glad you did. It's been a long time since I hung out with someone.
What about your friends?
Do you really think someone that runs a live stream channel has a lot of people outside of live streaming? Do you even know how much time it takes to do all that, Makoto? The setting up, the editing? Come on.
Well, I grew up in Tokyo, so I don't really have any friends here.
Really? I thought your father was in the Kyoto police.
He moves around a lot?
After Mom's accident, he transferred here from Tokyo. He said it's because my grandparents live here.
He seems like a good dad. He probably didn't want you to be all alone all the time.
Yeah, that's not it. He just wants to blow me off and go get drunk every night. Not just that. Mom was murdered, and he won't... I'm sorry.
Well, that describes your infatuation with the Phantom Thieves, even if you don't realize it yourself, kiddo.
It's all right. You've been through so much, Akane-chan.
I guess, in a weird way, they're sort of lucky that I'm not there to guide this child. I should not be providing wisdom to children that are seeking vengeance for the murder of their parents. I would be too much of an enabling figure. Like that guy from the League of Shadows.
I've just been so depressed ever since Mom died.
There's that word.
I wasn't having fun with stuff like I used to. Before I even knew it, all my friends had ditched me.
Kids can be cruel.
I see.
But nowadays, I'm doing a lot better thanks to my subscribers.
Aw. Yeah, you don't want to make another Akechi. Here's the fucked part. Whether I like to or not, I probably will create another Akechi. Because he's got crippling abandonment and daddy issues, always seeking both the approval and the destruction of his parents. It's a really weird thing in Akechi's mind. I really gotta make time for that Akechi video. But in his mind, he wants to kill his father, but at the same time, he wants acknowledgement from his father before he does so. So it's kind of a really fucked up scenario. And the daddy issues cripple him. It's pretty fucked.
But when I'm not streaming, I get really lonely.
Reality sucks, doesn't it, kiddo?
Mm-hmm. You wanna know something? I lost my mother when I was young.
Aww.
Huh?
At that point, my father had to raise my sister and me all by himself. Not only that, he was a police officer too. He would always be home so late, if at all. It happened so often that I really believed for a while that he didn't care about us.
Oh.
But one day, he was struck by a vehicle during an investigation, and he passed away.
I had no idea.
I had so many regrets at that point. I especially wished I'd shared more with my father. He had worked so hard for our family and the public, and I never thanked him at all for it. I just thought over and over, There's so much I wish I could say. I know it's not my place to speak on your father and your relationship. But even still, I wish you could find a way to not blame your father for his work.
But he... It's nothing. Sorry.
It's clearly something.
If it's okay with you, would you tell me what happened between you and your father?
I saw him. The man that ran Mom over.
What?
But they never arrested him. His secretary left behind some suicide note. Apparently it said, "I'm the one who ran over that woman."
That doesn't... If the police had an eyewitness, they'd never make such a huge error in their investigation.
What investigation?
That's what he said. At first. Eventually, he gave up on it too.
That explains the red tape he was talking about.
Him and the rest of the police.
None of them listened to me. And I told them so many times. Why? Because I'm just some kid? The guy who killed my mom is still out there!
I mean, a simple investigation process would have been to check the vehicle that's registered to the driver who you're describing. And then it's like, oh, would you look at that? The front bumper is damaged and has dents on it. Dents that appear like it's someone's leg or torso. I wonder what that could be.
Akane-chan,
He doesn't care about Mom anymore. He doesn't care about me. I know he's just trying to find the next woman so he can get on with his life. I know he thinks I'm just in the way.
I mean, a guy that's providing for his daughter doesn't show me any indication of wanting to do that.
I wish anyone but him was my father.
Wanna swap, kiddo?
stop that. There is absolutely no way that your father doesn't care about you. I know you've suffered a lot, Akane-chan, but I really believe there has to be some sort of explanation for this. Hasegawa-san may seem like he doesn't care, but I have a feeling he does, in his own way. Just a bit ago, he went through a lot of effort trying to reunite a lost boy with his mom. He's been there for us as well.
But that's just...
I really mean it when I say Hasegawa-san reminds me of my own father.
Are you serious?
Even when I couldn't see him, he was always giving it his all for my sister and I. His family, and that's why I think your father's always working so hard as well, Akane-chan.
Whoopsies.
Even when I couldn't see him, he was always giving it his all for my sister and I. His family was always on his mind. And that's why I think your father's always working so hard as well, Akane-chan.
I mean, someone doesn't work a 9-to-5 job to provide for a household and his daughter if he doesn't first like his daughter. It would have been 10 times easier for him to just abandon you at an orphanage if he really wanted to get rid of you. But he didn't. He's still going to work every day.
Really? His face looks so much happier when you're around. It's completely different from when he's out in the world. That should prove just how important you are to him. You're the biggest thing in his world. Pushing him away isn't going to make you feel any better. It's only going to hurt you more.
And you'll regret it later, kiddo.
Instead, you should tell him how you really feel.
Death has an interesting way of putting things into perspective.
Tell him everything, so you can't regret it later. No matter what you have to say, I know he'll listen to you.
sorry. I just wanted to help.
Makoto, this is the part where you give her a hug.
No, that's not it. My mom, she...
Please, forgive me. I really didn't mean to do this to you. Feel free to talk with me anytime you want. I'll be there for you whenever you need it.
Thank you.
Why is Akane crying? Is she in pain?
I'm curious too. I feel nothing in this moment. Can we not make a sociopathic robot, please? I've seen enough movies to know that this is a bad idea. And please don't abuse the robot. You'll get it one day.
Really? Akane-chan.
Thank goodness Makoto was here.
That poor girl.
Both Akane and Gramps are really torn up inside.
We ought to get to bed. We've got a long journey ahead of us tomorrow.
See, everyone has their story. That's why you shouldn't be cruel to people. You don't know what their circumstances are. Everyone has their own struggles.
Yeah, my heart's all warm and fuzzy now. I'm gonna sleep like a baby.
Someone was listening.
Those kids.
She's lucky. She's got a dad that actually cares for her. We need more people like that in the world. No one's perfect, but he tries. Sure, he's a fool at times, but he's a lovable fool because he genuinely cares about his daughter. Whereas you have some assholes that simply don't and don't accept any responsibility for their offspring. Wow. Wow. That was very heavy for a Saturday morning. Wow. And I think the last 3 saves we're just gonna leave as is. 1, 2, infiltrate the castle. Yeah, so we gotta, whoops, see? This is why I saved 3, because I almost, gotta go back to the top. Trying is all that matters. Sometimes you do give up, but it's still best to keep trying. Well, if you genuinely care enough about your kids, and it's not just kids, it's about people in general. If you generally care for someone and you put in the effort and you put in the attempts, that's a lot more important than in most times the result, because people aren't stupid. People can see and feel when someone's trying. If they don't acknowledge it and simply, refuse to give it any merit, then fuck those people. Unless we're talking about kids. Kids don't have enough life experience. But if someone you know, like a friend or a partner or a coworker or something, is genuinely trying to build a connection and build your relationship and strengthen your relationship and actually cares about you, you see it. Like, you can genuinely fucking see it that they're trying, right? And it's a good thing. I mean, if more people actually cared about the people around them and genuinely put in some effort, the world would be a lot better place. But unfortunately, there's too many selfish assholes out there and not enough good parents. I mean, if we had more people that cared about their kids, we wouldn't have half the problems we have in the world. We wouldn't have people growing up feeling disenfranchised and unloved and with sociopathic tendencies because they grew up in abusive households. We wouldn't have a lot of those problems. A lot of things start at home. I mean, when kids are born, they are a fresh slate. They're born with unlimited potential, and they become what we mold them to be. If we teach them good values and show them love and show them the good way of doing things, they're going to grow up as well-rounded, emotionally and intellectually stable individuals. If we neglect them, abuse them, and put them through hell, what do you think is gonna come on the other side? It's important. It's important. You can see who people are by how they treat people that can't necessarily do anything for them. Kuma, I'm older than you, but can you adopt me? You can make a decent parent. Stop telling me that. It makes me scared. I don't want to be a parent. I'm just a big kid myself. I'm just a big kid myself. Don't throw this responsibility on me. He has some wisdom, but he's not that competent. Well, I mean, no one really is. You know, you do your best, and at times you have to figure it out, but you do what you can. You do what you can. No one can fault someone for that. The people who I fault are the people that neglect their responsibilities and use the world as an excuse and hate their kids. And that actually happens a lot. I've seen a lot of parents that blame their kids as being the problem in their life. Like, I was in such a situation, which is why I gravitate towards similar people. So in my circumstance, my father absolutely hated me because I apparently ruined his life. And he told me that many times to my face, even when I was a kid. And I grew up overseas. I grew up in Yugoslavia, a country no longer exists, modern day Serbia. And I saw him for 1 month a year. And whenever I saw him for 1 month a year, he was really nice. He would always bring me like gifts. He used to bring me like toy cars, which is probably why I developed a love with cars. He was really nice for that 1 month, but what I didn't realize growing up was that 1 month was his vacation time, you know, when he gets away from work and gets away from Australia. And so I grew up really wanting to have a dad, because at that point I grew up with my mother. There was a nice lady next door that became my sort of adoptive grandmother, and we had a nice little sausage dog in the backyard who was also my best friend, which is why I love animals. I grew up with animals. And so I ended up moving to Australia courtesy of, you know, the bombings happening of Yugoslavia at the time. And I thought, wow, you know, now I've got the complete household. I have mum and I have dad. But what I didn't realize when I started living with my father was that he was a sociopathic asshole. So what he ended up doing after living with him for a while was you got to see his other side. While he was so nice and would bring gifts and everything when I was in Yugoslavia, he would... Let's just say that one of my earliest memories of Australia was coming to his home and being like, oh my God, this is so awesome. I've got this home, I have mum and I have dad. And then the next memory I have was I was playing with my toys in the hallway. There's basically like a hallway in between the entrance to the living room, and that hallway sort of leads to the bathrooms and the bedrooms. And I was playing in the hallway. I think it was one morning, it was like 6 a.m. or like really fucking early. You're a kid, right? And I'm playing in the hallway with toy cars, and he was walking past the hallway, and he must have been agitated or something, and he just saw me playing with the toy cars. And I recall him basically saying, oh, don't play with the toy cars, you might damage the carpet. and he basically grabbed the toy car and just crushed it in his hand. He was a very strong person, trust me, he was very strong. And he just literally crushed it. It was like I don't think it was like a hot rod, but it was, those little toy plastic cars, the really cool miniature ones that you play with as a kid. He just basically just crushed it. That's one of my earliest memories. And then after that, I didn't really play in the living room. I was pretty much just always in the bedroom to, not be visible, because whenever I was visible, he would either shout or he would break something, or, later on he would become physically abusive more and more so. Which is probably why I have such a high pain tolerance, but anyways. And eventually he ended up moving my mother and myself somewhere else to another household so he could live away from us. And I didn't realize that at the time, but he was a little bit of a womanizer, so he had like 4 or 5 girlfriends at the time. Lovely person, isn't he? And then when I was moving at that other household, and mind you, at this point I didn't get any new toys or anything because I wouldn't. See what I mean? So I grew up overseas, he would always bring toys, and now I move in here and he's just abusive, controlling, destroys everything that I have. And of course, my mother didn't speak English, so she can't really do much. So it was absolute hell at that point. And then we moved to the other home, which was very far away. So, I wasn't without a roof and without food, but we were sort of, on the side. And I actually managed to find, it was this really old, it was sort of in the attic while we were cleaning the house, we found it. It was like these race cars. It's basically this electronic race car track that you basically built, and then you put the little cars on at the bottom and it just goes in circles and stuff. And we ended up finding that at the attic because, he was very controlling and abusive. And so I built that in the house, right? He wasn't there, my mother was there, I was having fun, I found the new toy, so cool. And guess who ended up coming a couple of days later? He was annoyed to find me playing with toys and he just ended up kicking it. Entire racetrack, and it broke and all that stuff. So my memories of my father are very negative. So if you were to ask me to think of any of the good times, I would struggle to do so. On top of that, he just became worse as the years went by. And eventually reached this sort of point, and you can imagine being a little kid, and I was like 8. Like my age would have been 7, 8 at the time, right? And at the time, all I wanted was a happy family. I still loved my father at the time. I didn't understand why this was happening. Was it my fault? You don't know how to process that as a child. No family trips, no happy times, birthdays were miserable, and I sort of, over time, became more and more, I would say, shut in, and I would say my self-confidence died. So I went from being this little kid that was happy, bubbly, wanted to go outside and play and make friends, to I would really say broken on the inside, in that I lacked the self-confidence to talk with people. I didn't have the self-confidence to make friends. Home wasn't that good, and that sort of leaped into the other parts of my life. And then school was really rough and there were mean kids, but because I lacked the self-confidence, I really couldn't do anything, so I made an easy target, so I got picked on more and more, and that sort of made it worse and worse. And then I got beat up at school, and so I come home all bruised and bloodied, and then my father hears about it, and it's like, why didn't you fight back? And his solution to the problem was beating the shit out of me. So I'm already bruised and injured from school, and his solution was, well, why didn't you fight back? And then he beats the shit out of me within an inch of my life. And I sort of recall being on the floor coughing up blood and just going, So it got worse and worse and worse and worse, and many years later, I sort of at one point he just sort of died to me, really. It took a long time. It was sort of at the time that I had to escape the household. It was when I started doing university. He originally didn't want me to do university because he thought it was a waste of time. But I somehow, by some fucking miracle, managed to sit through all my examinations and qualify for university. I ended up qualifying for the university of my choice in Sydney. I don't want to say that I'm smart, but it took a bit of work. Because a lot of people want to go to those unis, so I ended up qualifying for it. I ended up qualifying for the degrees I wanted to do, and I decided to go to university. And his whole thing was, well, I'm not going to pay for it. Well, no fucking shit, you haven't paid for anything so far, so I'll pay for it myself. I'll take out a loan, with the government and all this sort of stuff. He's like, well, I don't want you in my household anymore. I was like, fine, then I'll move out. And it was all these sort of things that got worse and worse. And then he found out that I was dating a girl that wasn't Serbian. Ensued in another violent encounter in which he pretty much seemed like he tried to kill me. There was a knife involved. And he was a scary guy, trust me. So at that point, I decided to basically move out, and he was basically like, well, you're not my son, I disown you. And I basically said, look, you've been a shitty parent up until now. That's on you. But if you want to disown me, then after that point, you're dead to me. And then he's basically like, well, yeah, fine. I'm like, cool, have fun with that. So I moved out and all that sort of thing. And then I found out probably 6-7 months later that he had terminal cancer. And then I was like, well, what does that have to do with me? He disowned me, right? It's like, why does he want me now? It's like, oh, and this is coming from my uncle. He's like, oh, your dad and this, and he wants to make amends. And I'm like, look, he doesn't give a shit. He's just dying. He's just lonely. As soon as he doesn't have what people want from him, interesting scenario. He was a playboy up until then. And when he was in palliative care, which is basically this place next to the hospital where they keep people that can't be saved. It's basically cancer patients there. When I went to visit him there, he didn't have friends there. I don't think he had many friends. His girlfriends weren't there because, let's face it, what did they want from him besides money and free trips and shit like that, right? I mean, he was 70 at the time, and his girlfriends were significantly younger. I don't think they were there for his personality. So, and it was this whole thing, and he was just dead to me at that point. And I still remember the day that he actually died. My uncle called me, he's like, oh, your dad doesn't have a lot of time left. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, he's got terminal cancer. And it was like, oh, he slipped into a coma, he's probably gonna die today. So I ended up visiting. To make a long story short, I basically went there, I felt his pulse, and I basically, felt it go to nothing. And I'm like, yep, he's dead. And everyone's like, oh, how do you know this? And I'm like, I felt his pulse. There's no pulse. And so, they get the doctor who's like, oh, we gotta get a doctor. I'm like, yeah, go get a fucking doctor. The doctor goes there, they put on the machine, he's like, oh, he's dead, he passed away. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I told you, he's dead. And then my uncle's like, so don't you feel something? And I'm like, no, he's dead to me. Can I go now? And so I basically left, and that sort of surmises the relationship that I had with my parent, because let's face it, he was a shitty parent. Not a positive thing. So when I see something like this, and I see someone genuinely trying to build a relationship with their kid, even if they have no idea how to do it, that shows the character of the individual, because even though he doesn't know how, he's making a genuine attempt. And you've got to give the man credit. He's not in an easy position. He's a single parent trying to juggle a very difficult occupation that demands a lot from you, all while trying to raise a teenage daughter. That shit ain't easy. And then, she throws and blames him for not bringing her mother's killer to justice. And then she says, I hate you, I want nothing to do with you. I mean, that fucking hurts. He probably blames himself extensively for not being able to do anything, because, let's face it, that was his wife. That was the woman he married. That was the woman he loved. That was the woman that he wanted to build a life with, have kids with, who was killed by someone. You don't think he wanted to bring the killer to justice? You don't think it crossed his mind at any point? You don't think the guy that joined the police force would want to, enact justice? Zenkichi's not having a fun time right now. So all jokes aside, he's a really good guy. He's not perfect, but who the fuck's perfect? But he tries, and he does his best. He does his best. And I give him shit for trying to blackmail the Phantom Thieves, but given that his daughter is so into the Phantom Thieves, I don't see his blackmail as being nearly as malicious as I originally thought it was. I think he understands that they're young, that they're idealistic, that they're kids, and that at the same time he sees a little bit of himself in them because they're trying to enact justice in the world in their own way, the same way he did becoming a cop. A lot of people don't become cops because they want to beat minorities with a stick. A lot of people become police because they want to protect people, or they want to ensure the safety of people, or they look up to someone that was in the police force while they were growing up that did something heroic or life-saving to them. So I think in his weird way, I want to give Zenkichi the benefit of the doubt that he didn't blackmail the Phantom Thieves because he wanted to throw them under the bus, but more so he needed to get them on side, and he couldn't just walk up to them and say, "Hey guys, I know you're the Phantom Thieves, I need your help. It's a rush, but could you please help me out?" They would have probably told him to fuck off and change his heart. Whereas if you went with the, blackmail approach, which isn't always the best way to deal with things, he kind of hoped that they would understand. And I think in a weird way they do understand it and don't hold it against him. Because they give him a lot of shit, but they really show that they care. They could have just walked away from this situation and gone and done something until the next day, but they chose to sort of catch up with Zenkichi because they knew shit was going down, and they decided to back him up on it, and they saw there was a kid involved, and they saw that it was a tragedy, and they did what they could. And luckily we had people like Makoto that could relate enough to her, given that their circumstances were very similar, and she was there for her, and they tried to mend as much as they could. And again, they're kids, they're inexperienced with dealing with emotions themselves, much less dealing with the emotions of a teenage girl, but they did their best. And that's all you can do. The point is you try. And it's a lovely arc. It really is. It really shows the character and the nature of the characters. And this is the sort of glue that's going to bind them together, because this is the type of experience that builds solidarity in a team and amongst friendships. Sure, you can go for a road trip, you can go for this, you can go for that, but this type of shit is what glues people together, and I think it's really sweet. We've had these types of moments with Yusuke. We all remember when he was being a little bit of a douchebag, but that got resolved, and we saw these type of moments with Futaba, we saw these type of moments with everyone. And this is where characters really begin to shine. And Zenkichi's a really nice one. I would be really disappointed if he turns out to be an asshole. I don't think he will turn out to be an asshole, because they already painted him as an asshole, and now they're showing the more human side of his character, which is really cool. So yeah, it's really sweet. I'm enjoying this. Sorry for the rant. That's just how I feel about this whole arc. It's a really sweet arc. It's never a happy thing to hear about these tragedies happen, but it is heartwarming to see that there's people there that actually care for other people. So it's sweet. It's sweet. Okay. Maybe we should open the floodgates of the chat, because I haven't been reading the chat while sharing the story. So maybe let's open the floodgates. I know Physics put emote only chat, but maybe let's open the floodgates, because there's probably a lot of people that want to share similar experiences and want to share their comments and all this stuff. Remember what I told you, Kuma, you are 1,000 times the man your father ever wished he was. Take pride in that. Oh, probably. I don't really care about him that much. I honestly don't even think about him that much. I don't have those issues. Maybe I shouldn't call them issues, but I don't have that chip on my shoulder, because I've sort of just accepted it was a piece of shit, and that's the end of that, I think I've already gone through that whole grieving process. I went through all those stages of trying to figure out what caused it. I went through the stage of grief. I went through the stage of anger. And at the end of it, I just accepted it. Like, yeah, he was a piece of shit as a human being. That's why he died alone. He wasn't the first, that he's not going to be the last. And sure, he didn't teach me any things that I should do, but he did teach me what I shouldn't do, which in its own way, I think is going to be useful. But at the same time, it's kind of like, wow, it was a piece of shit. Maybe I'm gonna be a bit of a dick, and I'm just gonna play this in the background while we're listening to this. It's so good. This is such a good one. Or what do we have? My dad sometimes had me play online Texas Hold'em during the times he needed to sleep. I know how to play pretty well. That's about it for me. Oh, and he once pegged my PlayStation 2 into a wall because the disc compartment was completely busted. Gambling's a dangerous thing. It really messes people up. Kuma, you need to make streams where you just do those rants for hours. Isn't that what we kind of do already? Need a break? We will take a break, but I first wanted to see what everyone's thoughts were first and their stories and stuff like that. You can slice the chat, but you cannot slice the truth. Oh wait, silence the chat. Sorry. You can silence the chat, but you cannot silence the truth. Slice the chat. Did I just give something away? Persona 5 Strikers. First ran through. That's accurate. And this is just a spin-off game, but the feels are too real that it is a true Persona 6 almost. I interpret the spin-off element being the gameplay style. Because from my understanding, Persona 1 to 5 is a turn-based RPG, Personas fight Personas, whereas this is a hack and slash. I think when they say spin-off, they mean it's a spin-off from the gameplay style, but the storytelling element remains the same. My dad read that one. I know gambling is bad, hence why I don't do it. I know how, but I don't do it. Yeah. No, I totally get you on that one. I totally get you on that one, which is a painful thing to see happen. I mean, my mother has a gambling addiction, and that's pretty much destroyed her. She, without going into too much detail, she separated from my father, and she ended up, taking him to court and getting a third of his assets. So she was set for life. But when I asked her, can I move out and move in with you? She said no. Lovely parenting, mother. But she developed a gambling addiction, which is effectively bankrupting her. So, but to another point, I asked to move out, and she didn't let me. Because in retrospect, the only reason she had me was because she was one of my father's girlfriends that wanted to hook him on. And hooking him on worked by creating a child. So in a weird way, my life is a bargaining chip. So I don't know who's worse, my father or my mother. Meh, they're both shitty in my opinion. So gambling, I see the demon that it is. I can barely remember my childhood guessing I shut it out. Always makes me second guess why I feel the way I do or if I'm making it up. It's a real thing. Persona 5 originally was planned to be an action-based, but they changed their minds early in development. Well, they went with the safe option. Sorry if this sounds weird, but when you tell these stories, I really admire you. I feel really negative experiences with my dad and other things growing up, and I feel like I grew up to be a wreck of a person. I hate that you had to go through all that, but your stories make me feel like I can go through things too. That's kind of why I feel comfortable sharing them. Originally, I never felt comfortable sharing these stories, but what really opened me up to telling more was when I was doing the Danganronpa 1 playthrough, and I don't remember at which trial it was. I do know the Sakura trial really, I shouldn't have said that. Trial 4 really hit me like a brick. And I did start sharing stories, but what really opened me up to sharing more and more was people in the comments started sharing their own stories. And they started letting me know how it sort of touched them in a way, but it also let them sort of share. And that's kind of why I like responding to the comments. I started going back and forth and discussing with different people. And then I found out really quickly that there's a lot of people out there who have gone through lots of different experiences and they lack a place where they can share them openly and where they feel safe. And it's also a great way to deal with it just by telling someone, in a weird way, it's very liberating because it lets you sort it out in your mind. And by putting it out in words or telling someone, just the act of telling someone can sometimes make you feel 1,000 times better, which is why I started doing it more and more, not only for my own therapy, but to sort of show that, hey, you're not the only one that's gone through shit. A lot of people have gone through shit, so it's okay to talk to people and make you feel better. Unlike other spin-offs, the characters and story elements feel the same as the original. Yes, it's a very good spin-off. Ryuji sounds more intelligent than in Persona. Well, maybe he's grown as an individual. I try to shut out my childhood. I should be in therapy, but pandemic happened. Nothing online sessions can fix. If that's the case, I'm sure the pandemic will sort itself out once the antivirus gets distributed. So things will return to relative normality soon. So hopefully that sorts itself out and then you can go to therapy if that's what you want to do. Well, he is older. That he is. I assume you don't know why? That's probably a relative to another question. I ask again, why did he put on the facade in the first place? Well, I think to be fair, I think a lot of us have a facade, or you can call it a mask, when we're meeting people for the first time. We try to portray and put our best foot forward, but it isn't always who we really are. Because if you come on too strong, people will run away. At the same time, when you're dealing with someone and you need something from them, you can't always tell them why that something is. So that's probably why he put on the mask. Or are you talking about my father? Oh, my father was just an asshole. He was just trying to juggle too many girlfriends at once. And eventually it caught up to him. Because he got a woman pregnant. Fucking idiot. When I became an adult, I actually gave him shit for it because I found out the story. The story was my mother convinced him that she couldn't get pregnant, so he stopped using contraception. And I'm like, he basically told me, like, you're a mistake. And I'm like, I get that I'm a mistake, but you weren't wearing protection. That's on you. And it was like, oh, well, she said she couldn't get pregnant. And I'm like, yeah, and you were pretending like she was your only girlfriend. For someone that's such a big liar, you sure were fooled easily. And, that conversation ended in a fist fight, but fuck it, at that point I was an adult and I could hold my ground. Fucking idiot. Fucking idiot. For a womanizing piece of shit, you sure are gullible. But then again, doctors do make the worst patients. But Haru feels like a real lady now. Not like when you see her helpless. Well, everyone's grown, which is really good to see. Even Makoto, she's more in touch with her emotions. Even though she doesn't exactly know how to deal with a girl crying, she's a lot more in tune with her sort of self. Are most Persona spin-offs considered canon? I'd be surprised if this wasn't considered canon. This man just lost his kid. Please, Kuma, raid him at the end, and that will help him a lot. Shin, who are we talking about? Oh, Uzumaki. Okay. Let's put it down. Let's put his name down. Let me put on a notepad or something. What the hell did I just do? Oh, resting mode. Okay. Where can I write it? I'll just copy and paste it across. Raid him. Cool. Okay. Yeah. I've noted it down. Sure thing. Thanks for letting me know. I don't want to ask the circumstance of him losing his kid, nor do I think we should mention it. I think we should just raid him and say hi at the end. And just leave it at that. There was some backlash regarding Persona 4 dancing, and then I heard that Atlus does not consider the new ones canon to avoid this thing. That just sounds like cowardice. Kuma talking about Jungian ecology without knowing it. Huh? Oh, you were saying psychology. I saw the C and I was like, psychology. You're just fucking with me now. Step 1, protein. Step 2, protein. Step 3, 4. proteins. Oh, really? Something controversial or just people hate dancing? I don't know. Don't lie to a person and then mad that the person lies back to you. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think we could see where my trust issues stem from. I have many trust issues. I'm not that knowledgeable about specifics. Haven't played the dancing games. All right, cool. Back from a shower. Uzumaki-kan. Okay, you people seem to know him. Atlas also changed the gay couple in Royale because of the stupid backlash from a small minority. Thanks, Kuma. I could see why some people would be upset about that couple in Persona 5 because of the way they're portrayed. I can understand that. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. I mean, you could just think back to how gay people were portrayed in early video games in general. I think back to GTA Vice City, and then I can think back to the GTA that was on PSP. I think it was Vice City Stories, and I think you had two characters that were gay, but the way they portrayed them being gay was so eccentric and over the top that it was a bit ridiculous. Whereas I don't think, I mean, if someone's gay, it doesn't necessarily mean they're eccentric. Like, sometimes being gay is just, oh, they're gay. Cool. You know what I mean? Like, at least for me. I mean, I found out that some of my friends and co-workers are gay, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like, it doesn't make a difference to me. Whereas some sort of are more eccentric on purpose, and I'm cool with that because it's part of who they are. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. You dyed your hair, you know, pink and purple, and you like that, and you put it on an earring, and, you know, that's your whole image. Cool. You do you, right? Whereas some people are just like, oh, well, I'm gay. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, cool. And, like, you wouldn't pick him from a crowd, right? Like, so if you put 10 people in a line, you said, pick the guy that's gay, you wouldn't be able to work it out because, you know what I mean? So I don't think video game companies were really handling the whole thing very well. I think they were very immature in that they thought that gay people were so different, not realizing that gay people are just people, which probably would have blown their minds. Like, the fuck? But maybe because I was playing online video games growing up, so like I had friends online that were gay and it was never a real thing, right? So it was just, it's just part of my normality. Whereas for some people it's like, well, I've never encountered someone that's gay. And it's like, well, you probably have, you just didn't know they were. I mean, does someone just walk up to you and say, well, who are you into? Not really. So the fuck do you know? I think society just needs to grow the fuck up about certain things. I think there's a lot of sexual insecurity. It's like, oh, you're gay, so you must be into me. And it's like, I don't think anyone's into you. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. Would you really sit down to think about it? It's like, God damn it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too super chill with people that I never even put any thought into it, but like, I don't know. Oh wow, the desktop, sorry, the music in the background's not actually playing. I've been listening to Persona music this entire time while talking. I'll have to edit in the music. All right, this is a good chance for us to take a break. We'll take a quick break. That way I know to edit out the music in the background while I'm ranting. I apologize for not being able to play the music originally. It should have been playing. It played Confessions, Velvet Room, Layer Cake, and for some fucking reason, I didn't turn it on. But quick little break, we'll be right back.
I'm running on empty, man. Behold, a saucy, zesty masterpiece. Ain't nothing better than this. Get out, dumbass! Here you go, my treat! Yes, it's all good.